Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. My name is Suzanne Short, and I am pleased and privileged to serve this community on its Board of Trustees. Thank you for being here today on this yet again potentially snowy Sunday. I hope you find yourself in warm and cozy surroundings as we spend this time in beloved community together. Our church was begun in 1833 as a liberal Christian community. We are now a community of many faith journeys and beliefs, guided not by creed, but by a covenant to uphold shared principles marked by love, respect, and justice. Our faith community continues to work to put our UU principles and values into actions and to build beloved community and serve the purpose of justice for all here in the Richmond community. I hope this gathering together, yet apart, nourishes your spirit and helps sustain you and your loved ones in these trying and troubling times. If you are a visitor here today, our congregation welcomes you, and we are so glad that you are here. If you are new to Unitarian Universalism and would like to learn more about our faith and our community, we invite you to check out our website, join our Facebook group, and reach out to us by email to membership@richmonduu.org. I hope everyone will consider joining our virtual coffee hour, which starts approximately 5 minutes after this service, through a separate Zoom link in Saturday's email and on Facebook. Coffee hour provides a time for us to connect with fellow church members, and if you are new to First UU, an opportunity for us to get to know you better. I would also encourage our church members and visitors to tune in to our Sunday services 5 to 10 minutes early in order to catch the rolling announcements. This is a good way to stay informed about things that are important in our church community. Again, welcome to this joyful Sunday, made sacred by all of us being together, worshiping, and sharing our time with each other.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We
Does it feel that way? I know. And right now, some people are getting a vaccine, some are not. That makes it feel even harder. And all the talk and all the examination, it really is a difficult thing to be present, to be calm right now. Welcome to a time of worship, a time in which you and I will recognize that it's not easy in these days to know what it means to be loving or kind, or what's being asked of us in our isolation. It's all so dark and unclear. But we can fix that. We light this chalice because we're a people of hope. We're a people of care, and we are a people of love, but we don't want to be that sentimental nonsense love that never shows up when the work needs to happen. We want to be the loving people who actually are present in the difficult moment. Let's hear these words from The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. Love takes off the masks that we fear we cannot live without and know we cannot live within. I use the word love here not merely in the personal sense, but as a state of being or a state of grace. Not the infantile American senses of being made happy, but in the tough and universal sense of quest and daring and growth. Welcome to a time of worship.
What do you do when the mountain's too high? What do you do when the river's too wide? When the truth means nothing, nothing is true. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do when the night is so long and the darkness is winning? There's no right, no wrong. When the truth means nothing, nothing is true. What do you do? What do you do? You gotta fill it up. You've got to fill it up. Oh, fill up the space between us with love. You gotta fill it up. You gotta fill it up. Oh, fill up the space between us with love. They try to say that the stars have disappeared and left you stranded, alone with your fears, that the truth means nothing, that nothing is true. What do you do? What do you do? You gotta fill it up. You gotta fill it up. Oh, fill up the space between us with love. Fill it up. You gotta fill it up. Oh, fill up the space between us with love. Everybody here's got a story to tell, a little bit of heaven and a whole lot of hell. You can feel the healing when you tell it well. So come on, come on, come on. Everybody here's got a story to tell, with a little bit of heaven, a whole lot of hell. You feel the healing when you tell it well. So come on, come on, come on. Everybody's got a story to tell, a little bit of heaven, a whole lot of hell. You feel the healing when you tell it well. So come on, well come on. You got to fill it up. You got to fill it up. Oh, fill up the space between us with love. Fill it up. You got to fill it up. Oh, fill up the space between us with love. Fill it up. You got to fill it up. Oh, fill up the space between us with love. Fill it up. You got to fill it up. Oh, fill up the space between us with love.
A reading from Linda Barnes. It's called Blessings on Those Staying Home. We're staying home. Love has never asked this of us before. We're staying home. This is our gift to humanity. Let's wish each other well. For those staying home, I offer you a blessing. May you grow a deeper understanding of your own worth. Dear one, leaven the aloneness with gentle care. For this too shall pass. May you be blessed with a peace and a serenity. May you find the courage to reach out to hear another's voice and remember others need you too. May you be well. For those staying home together, I offer you this blessing. May you find moments of patience and grace in your relations. May you offer each other enough time apart, reassurance, and space enough to cry, to safely rage, for this too shall pass. Then let peace come again into your home. May you see one another's whole self as a gift. May you be well. For those working from home, I offer this blessing. May you remember to take breaks. May you find the means to relish your imperfection and the imperfection of your cohort as evidence of your shared humanity. You are enough, even when there isn't enough. Make order in your days, and then let it go. May you be well. For those staying home with children, I offer you this blessing. May you find humor and compassion in your days. There will be learning of a different kind, deeper no doubt, unexpected for sure. May there be patience and forgiveness again and again and again. For this too shall pass. May you all remember the deep love that brought your family into being. May there be peace and understanding in your home. May you be well. May we be well. May it be so. Please join me now in a time of quiet, a bit of stillness, silence, breathing. May we be well. Member Yvette Gerner has begun a time in hospice. Yvette has been the rock in the left-hand side of the church at the second service for a long time. Born in France and raised in France during the wartime, Yvette has perspective on life and love and peace that is really extraordinary. We are most grateful for all the things that she has done, including dance whenever the moment struck her. She liked to sing. She didn't always like the music we chose. And she was always the first one out of the church to talk to me after service. Now would be such a great time to send a card, a well wish to Yvette. She is a wonder. Let's let her know her church thinks of her. There's much healing going on in the church. People healing from times in COVID and not COVID and operations. And the energy is palpable as we breathe a sigh of relief. And there may be others we don't know who are struggling with illness of one kind or another. And people we do know are struggling with one type or another of illness. So will you join me now in a time of prayer for those in a time of illness? Spirit of life, of love, of the power that is love among us, between us, within us. We know that not all will recover from their illness. There is a joy to be seen in a life that is measured and understood and reflected on. There is joy in a community for persons who share themselves, even in times of challenge with illness, and tell us of their care and love. What a gift. How do we pray a gift of thanks for that? How do we step into a heart of appreciation for that? How do we be in community, virtually, in that? We have others healing, returning from illness that's stressed and strained, and of course, makes one humble. And from weakness, from fatigue, from the struggle to deal with illness, migraines, challenges that weigh on the body. Let us take all the wisdom we have to allow our bodies to rest and let go, to renew, to restore, to remind us of this beautiful, fragile mortality and how we take measure of it with joy because we know the power of its gift. And for those of us who may struggle with times of depression, loneliness, a sense of isolation, we as a community hold you in heart and mind. We are not afraid to be called on to remind you of your value, your beauty. Do not allow yourself to be isolated, but bless us with your outreach and your requests for care and attention. Spirit, flow through all of this human salad of so many ways of being, and help us to permeate it with love, to bring forward what love we know how to offer, and the love we are learning to become. May this be our hope, our gift to one another, and therefore our gift to ourselves, that in this community we are carried with love. Blessed be, and healing and hope to us all. Please join in singing. In your home, may we be filled with loving kindness.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Good morning. Love is divine only and difficult always. If you think it is easy, you are a fool. If you think it is natural, you are blind. It is a learned application without reason or motive except that it is God. You do not deserve love regardless of the suffering you have endured. You do not deserve love because someone did you wrong. You do not deserve love just because you want it. You can only earn by practice and careful contemplation and the right to express it, and you have to learn how to accept it. Which is to say, you have to earn God. You have to practice God. You have to think God carefully. And if you are a good and diligent student, you may secure the right to show love. Love is not a gift. It is a diploma.
The feast of San Valentino, St. Valentine's Day, is in the history of the Catholic Church. They celebrated this saint's martyrdom for the Catholic Church, except that they're not sure who Valentine was, and they're not real sure if they don't have two Valentines or one. But the story that holds is that there was a bishop who oversaw a diocese outside of Rome, and he heard of the suffering of Roman prisoners who were Christians. This is in the days of the persecution. And he went to be present to them, pastoral to them. Who knows, perhaps their ministers, their bishops had died. Unknown. But they celebrate it every February 14th. There's also some question as to whether or not the celebration of Valentine for love's sake is a whole made-up story. The story that is handed down, this possibly made-up story, is that when he was there ministering to the Christians in Rome, he was arrested and put into jail, and that he developed a relationship with the jailer's daughter, and he would sign everything he wrote to her, "From your Valentine," and hence. In the time of courtly love, this was used as a great opening to say that this was when you were courting someone, you should pray to St. Valentine. So I can't really say too much that we would want to hang our hats on. That's my Dusty Baker hat. But it is true that we have decided to celebrate Valentine's Day. Now, people who have just met and are courting, their relationship is new, they do this thing up really big. And 20 years later, if it's on a Sunday, they might celebrate it on a Friday. They might forget to get something. Sometimes they do. Now, some people are great about it all the way along, but not everyone. Valentine's Day is focused on that sort of eros love. But what we're finding in studies of human life is that, though that's a lovely place to be in on Valentine's Day, the real question of love is not the feeling of love we have that's fleeting or good or appreciative or a moment of shared joy or intimacy, but what is enduring is actually being bonded to a person or a commitment that makes a difference in your life. And as we celebrate the last week of 30 Days of Love, the time between Dr. King's birthday celebration and this week where we have Valentine's, the whole stretch of that 30 Days of Love is inviting us to consider whether we in fact understand the power of our own love to transform ourselves and those around us. So, let me ask you a question. So you're here, at least virtually, and most of you have been tied to this community for a long time. I hear people tell us all kinds of reasons why they want to be a part of this community. They have children and they want to talk with their children and have someone teach their children about values that they think are important. they were Unitarian Universalists elsewhere and they want to be UUs here. Or they're here for community. Or they want to be with like-minded people. Or they want to join in our social justice work. They like the Black Lives Matter banner. All kinds of reasons. Everybody has a reason. But nobody has ever come to me and said, I wanted to come here so that I would learn to love. And we don't think of it that way. But really, if you think back at your time, if you've been here a while in this congregation, you know that one of the things we learn is that we all have limitations and quirks, some more annoying than others. And one of the things we learn to do is to be inclusive of everyone, quirks and all. One of the things we do is to learn to have an interest and an identification in this community that bonds us to that other person, no matter how different we might be. Now, of course, we are all differently bonded one to another. Some people have met their best friends here. Some people have met their spouses here. Some people have met people they really are inspired by, and others have met people they try to avoid. But actually, most of the people here who are here for a long time are actually learning to love. Learning to love in the same way that we need to know how to do it out there, beyond the community. Sometimes when people say, I come for the like-minded people, well, what are we going to do if somebody who's not exactly of your mind shows up? Because it's going to happen. We aren't actually a community of like-minded people. We have similar values. But that doesn't hold always and everywhere, and there's friction. There has to be friction in all those kinds of human interactions. One of the things we learn in community is not to react to that. We're not to react to being someone else's friction, but to draw breath, to calm ourselves, and to understand that meeting that moment with compassion or love, words that are variously defined and interdefined, meeting that moment teaches us it really isn't important all the time what we like or think or believe. Sometimes it's just important to listen to what somebody else believes. That's a gift. You practice it in community. You learn it in community. You get wiser in community. And the more involved you are in the community, the more you understand that you will never be in any place in the community where you won't be tested and tried again and again. But you also learn that you can change and you can grow and you can become a different person. You can inculcate wisdom. You can bring into your life patience. You can embrace a practice of humility that says, I'm actually happy, not just when I experience something I like, but rather when someone in the community does. And I always say that is when you become a true member, because you feel happiness because of someone else's happiness, even if it isn't your own. So when someone loves to hear New Beginning, and they come up and they're all moved by it and they're just in tears, someone else who maybe didn't understand what New Beginning was bringing has a learning moment. People come to me and they say, I don't like this, or I really love that. And it's usually true that someone has expressed the opposite thing to me. We have so many things going on here, so many people involved, that there's always another thing to do. But the question that I want to engage us on is whether or not we are really coming love forward into this community. Love forward believes that people make mistakes all the time. starting with ourselves, and that we can ask for forgiveness and go forward. There really isn't any need to go to the shame place, okay? There really isn't. It's always very interesting to me. People say, oh, we don't need shame here, but they have no skills around hearing when they've done something that is difficult for somebody else. That includes saying, I didn't know that. Hey, I'm sorry. And I promise I will change, especially around you. I will be aware that you don't like that. Shame arises when we when we internalize that we're not loved. But sometimes people are sharing something with us because we are powerfully loved. They believe in us. They identify with us. And they want to be in right relationship, in community with them. Now think about that. Think about the fact that you and others are wandering around in this community wanting to love. Even to love people different, with different thoughts and different ways of being, and different commitments. You know, some people love working with Cardinal School. Other people enjoy gallery. Still others just are delighted with risk or working on sanctuary. There are people who are doing all kinds of different things because they're different people. And even within those groups, they all don't agree on how to go about them. But people are hanging out here because community is sufficiently valuable to them that they will practice humility, that they will stay when things are a little difficult and not become wah complainers. They're using an intentional desire to love. That is what we practice here. James Luther Adams said, church is where you come to practice being human. Because here, people will love you, even though you're going to fail. Out there, they might not be so kind. But if you can practice being human here, there's a chance that when you go out, you're going to have a different set of skills to bring to the moment. Now, what does all of that have to do with Valentine? Well, quite this. A Valentine celebration between two people who are lovers is a grand and beautiful, intimate, delightful exchange. It is a celebration of the way they are head over heels in love one with the other. And if they work at it, and if they take their time to unravel the differences between them, they will learn over years and years and years to allow one another to be wholly different and yet to be loved, even for their foibles. God knows those of us who have a spouse are glad we are loved for our foibles. But that Valentine's love can get expanded in community and taken out to the world. We've practiced being human. We're going outside. We will still make mistakes. But the fact is, we're then involved in the possibility of changing the world by bringing love forward. Love forward. We have a lot of tricks that we use in society to make it run well. We practice a very discreet fairness. We have equal terms for certain things, and we know that there are great inequalities present in this system. We don't like those inequalities. We practice lots of little careful documentations of things so everyone understands how they work. We take care and we hope that people will be lawful and disciplined and orderly and hopefully polite and maybe even kind. and that society will work that way. But what we're doing as Unitarian Universalists is to say we bring love forward. We're going to worry a little less about documentation and a lot more about making sure that we practice a commitment not just to be members of a faith, but to be love forward with one another. Bringing the skills from romantic love, from family love, from the love of friends, bringing all those skills forward, practicing them here and taking them out in the world, and being unabashed in saying, we want to practice love in the larger world. And why? What's wrong with the world isn't a lot of technical answers. What's wrong with the world is that we've never let people really love us and see us and go deep. We have put on masks. We have had mountains and rivers between us. And we've put up shells. But instead, we could let love come forward. We get to practice that in community. We get to laugh about when we didn't get things right, we misunderstood one another. I just had an exchange the other day on text with someone where I was thinking this meant that, and she was thinking this meant that, and we were texting back and forth, and I was like, what? Suddenly, only to realize that our subjects were various. But for just a half a minute there, I was getting frustrated and angry, and why isn't she paying attention? And then I realized maybe I wasn't paying attention. Because I asked myself, why am I angry with her? Why? Because it's not what I want to be. I want to be loving. I want to be affirming. So we did a lot of LOLs back and forth. We straightened it out. Everything was good. And then at the end, we just took time to celebrate how funny that was and how it didn't drive us annoyed away from one another. But the community has taught us to go back to love. And love's a position one can take. In difficulty and uncertainty, love is a position we can take. When we are angry with each other and disagree mightily, love is a position we can still take. And when we feel wronged, and when we feel that something has not included us, love is a position we can take, and we can go and talk to the people and tell them how we are feeling, instead of letting all that anger go sideways with little snippy comments and other frustrating events. No, love is a position we can take forward, not hiding it, not behind a mask, forward. Love forward, not 30 days a year, 365 days a year. And will you get disappointed if you are love forward? You sure as heck will. Will you find people who think it's absurd to try to encounter the other person with love and warmth? Absolutely you will. There's a lot of hurt souls in this world, not only with masks, but with entire bubbles around them. But beloved community can only happen if we persistently take the risk to be out there bringing these skills to the new day. That is real living. Hiding behind masks, holding back your emotions, focusing on discipline and order, law, ritual, policy. They're all okay, but love forward is a radical commitment to change this world and move it to beloved community. And that is the change we need to see. Everything else everything that's difficult in this world, everything that's a systematic problem, everything that hangs on and causes harm can be changed by presence and love, and will be changed by taking a position of love and converting others to do the same. So, next time you feel annoyed in the middle of a church thing, take a position of love and understand how it will change the future of humanity. A little bit, at least. Listen, double down, be humble. LOL. Remember, you've been wrong too. And practice here what we can bring out there. Take St. Valentine with you. His relics are all over Europe. There's no reason you can't be his relic here. May it be so. Blessed be.
I'm Autumn Fair, and our Share the Plate organization this month is RISK, Richmonders Involved to Strengthen Our Community. RISK is a grassroots interfaith organization which focuses on long-term solutions to systemic problems that affect people impacted by racism and poverty. RISK's annual cycle begins with listening to people from our 22 congregations as they describe what worries them and keeps them up at night. And based on those stories, we vote on an issue to tackle. Then we research it, talking to local and national experts to discover best practices. And we take those proven best practice solutions to appropriate decision makers in the community and ask them to implement them. Our cycle concludes as we gather in a large meeting with community officials. This year, that's on March 23rd, and we expect 1,300 people by Zoom. There is money power and there is people power, and RISK fully leverages the power of organized people. I'm proud to be a RISK team leader because of our history of enacting long-term positive change in Richmond. Like how we got the city to use $6 million from the CARES Act for eviction diversion, as well as approve a $10 million annual Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which we're currently pressing the mayor to fully fund. Your Share the Plate offering is really an investment in bringing justice to RVA. The offering will now be taken and gratefully received.
I carry your heart with me. I am never without it. Wherever a moon has always meant, wherever a sun has always sung, whatever has kept the stars apart is you. I carry your heart with me. I am never without it. The secret that nobody knows to bud of a tree that grows higher than soul can hope is you. Now the secret that nobody knows, from root to bud of a tree that grows higher than soul can hope, is you. I carry your heart with me in my heart.
Thank you to all who helped to create this service. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being brave enough to know that there is a great love that is our nature and to which we are all called, because it is such a blessing on this community to be bold in seeking it. I extinguish this chalice and I call on all of us to imagine a deeper, stronger, bolder love that gifts us with purpose and a sense of the power that we can change ourselves and the world. For nothing more is asked of us. It is all about living. Blessed be. Have a tremendous week. Stay safe. Stay patient. The vaccine is coming.